Today, I want to talk about something that you may have been hearing quite a bit about in the news lately. Now, I know this sounds super political and far removed, but we need to pay attention because if you purchase goods, hair, products, tools, or packaging from a Chinese manufacturer, this could, in the end, affect your coins. So on this video, I'm going to break this down in real terms. We're going to get into what tariffs are, why they matter, and how you can protect your profits in the salon. When the US puts a tariff on a product that is coming from another country, like China, it then makes the product more expensive to import. And guess what? That then makes hair products, tools, supplies like gloves, combs, clips, whatever we need to do our job, if it's manufactured over in China, that will make it more expensive for us to purchase. And that could possibly raise our prices for our clients. So that also means that when a company manufactures its products over in China, that raises their import costs. And what happens is they go ahead and they push that cost on us, the consumers, right? So either way, when you think about it, if you go directly to China for your hair or whatever it is that you may be doing, say private label, you will have to pay that import fee. And even if you go straight to the store, say your local hair store, they will more than likely put that cost on the consumer. So when you hear talk of tariffs, don't look at it as just business stuff or political stuff, because a lot of that stuff trickles down to the little people, right? It will trickle down to us and we will begin to be affected by it. So if I'm being honest, a lot of hairstylists should already be making a lot more money. And this tariff thing can really and truly affect your bottom line and your future earning potential. So the best thing you can do is plan ahead. All right, get ahead of what may be on the horizon for us. And I'm going to share with you a few things that you can start to do sooner than later. You don't want to wait until shit hits the fan for you to make these adjustments that you can begin to make right now. So the first thing you can do is check with your vendors. Reach out to them and ask them how these tariffs will affect the cost of goods you purchase from them. Also ask them when they could possibly be affecting, and give you, just some reassurance on what to expect, because transparency is super important. The second thing you can do is buy in bulk. Check with your vendor and see if they are running any pre-tariff specials. And if they are, take advantage of that. Even if it's a small bulk purchase, that small thing will help you in the future. The third thing you can do is adjust your pricing. A small $5 to $10 increase may not be very noticeable. And if it is, just have this simple conversation with your client. Best way to do this would be the number four thing, is to have that conversation with your clients just like you would have that conversation with your vendor. So you would simply say to your clients, due to the increase on these products, unfortunately, I have to raise my prices. However, I do appreciate your continued support to my small business. Real short, real sweet, to the point. Let them know you value them and let them know what's going on. The fifth thing you can do is explore other vendors. There are African vendors, South American vendors. There are also a lot of vendors right here in the US, right? And even India. Like, I particularly love hair from India. I don't know if India will be affected, but again, look into these other ways to get your product, because just because the US is putting tariffs on this product doesn't mean that, say, your African vendor is paying tariffs on the product. So they may get their product from China and then you get your product from them. You see what I'm saying? You getting me? And then the last thing you can do is start to push different services. Now, that's not to say that things all the way down to like combs, brushes, gloves, foils, we don't know what all is going to be affected, but there is a high chance that weaves and wigs are going to be greatly affected. If you are a stylist that can do real hair and can do weave just the same, I suggest you start to push more of your real hair services. And if you are not a stylist that specializes in natural hair or real hair care, I suggest you start to develop your skills in that area, right? You want to be able to keep a client in your chair. And I've said this on my TikTok and I'll say it here. If a client needs weave and they have to choose between you and their hair, they will probably find someone cheaper to do their hair, or they will do their hair themselves. I experienced this early on in my career when I did a lot of quick weave hairstyles. And at one point, you had to buy the hair 8 to 10 inches, cut it, and style it, right? You had to blend your own colors, cut your own hair. And then shortly after, there became this hair that was already cut, colored, and closed in. So you had to be really, really good at what you were doing, because if your price was too high for a particular person, they would do it themselves or they would go somewhere cheaper. And I believe that that is what may happen in the future if the cost of hair goes up too much. So make it a point to develop those natural hair care skills. I'm also saying this because that is imperative to having longevity in this industry. I was able to pivot my career and start to do more real hair. And present day, I do more real hair than I do weaves. And that is how you can be behind the chair way past your expiration date. Okay. That is a way to keep a client in a chair. That is a way for you to do this for 15, 20, 25 years, because you have to be well rounded and you also need to be able to care for your client's hair. That makes all of the difference. Even if you are a weave stylist, you want to be able to care for the hair underneath the wig, and you want to underneath the weaves and extensions, and you want to be able to give your clients the option, right? You want them to be able to trust you overall. So sometimes when we think about something that can seem extremely scary to us, we can also look at it as a good thing. Like, look at this situation as something that you could possibly benefit from. In the event that you're not able to make all the money you used to make on weaves because the cost has gone up, this will allow you to develop other skills and find other ways to make money, because there are other ways, right? And we should have multiple ways to get to it. So now I know all this talk about tariffs seems boring and not really interesting, but I need you all to stay ahead of this, because if you stay ahead, you can stay profitable. Don't wait until it starts to happen and and you begin to see a dip in your finances, and now you're looking for a job. You want to be able to do what you love, and you want to be able to make good money doing it. So please stay on top of this. If you have any tips that could be applied, please let us know in the comment section. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you like, you subscribe, and you share this video with another beauty pro who you think could use this information. Also, don't forget to follow me on some of my other platforms. I do share different content on different platforms, but overall, the goal is the same: for us to look out for each other in this industry, share useful information, right? And help each other grow. When you learn, you teach. So I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, until my next video.